The NFL is in shock. Reports are swirling that Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has a secret plan to sign Shedeur-Sanders, pulling him away from the Cleveland Browns. If true, this move could completely shake up the league and change Shedeur's future forever. Is this a bold power play by Dallas, or just wild rumor talk? Let's get into the details.
Brown owner just recently came out and opened up and disclosed that he didn't want Shedeur-Sanders. He didn't have nothing to do with the decision. It was the general manager's call, and respected the call.
Shedeur-Sanders is going to end up getting traded. He will not be with the Cleveland Browns for long. You can bank on that now. I'm telling you, Shedeur-Sanders is going to get traded.
Okay, visualize this. Like a crazy Wild West sheriff, the wealthy owner of the Dallas Cowboys rides in. With his cowboy hat cocked, he was prepared to pull Shedeur-Sanders from the Cleveland Browns mayhem. Yes, the team where quarterbacks go vanishes more quickly than my target salary. Might Jerry Jones be planning the largest rescue operation in NFL history? Or is this simply another fantasy the size of a cowboy? This story is going to get humorous, so fasten your seatbelt.
Now it sounds like the Cleveland Browns are going to all but imprison Shedeur-Sanders in the football sense of a very talented rookie quarterback who obviously needs reps, needs an opportunity, and who now, barring some miraculous luck, will not get the opportunity to play in a single real game. I'm sure many around the NFL are celebrating as we speak. They are chuckling about this. Many in the NFL wanted to teach Shedeur and his daddy a lesson, and it just makes me want to.
Shedeur-Sanders is the primary character in the NFL's official foray into the soap opera area. This league is better than HBO at writing plots, so forget about your primetime dramas. News is spreading more quickly than a Dak Prescott interception that Shedeur is the target of the Cowboys owner, who views football as a billion-dollar event.
This is the Browns. This is the most hype they've ever had. Like, it's the Browns.
Exactly.
So, he got drafted to the wrong team. That Sanders name, I'm telling you right now, there's only one person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for Sanders. Dallas is where Sanders is gonna be.
Wow.
Because that name on the back of that jersey is legacy, and he's gonna want that to ring bells around the globe. Jerry is gonna have.
Not only is he locked up, but it seems like they are planning an undercover operation to sneak him out of Cleveland, like he's rescuing a POW quarterback. To be honest, Cleveland's football witness protection scheme may be the most dismal in history. When you see them again, they've somehow become just another cautionary tale, after taking in potential talent and putting them in the blender.
Dallas Cowboys. I don't care about Dak's new contract. I would go get Deion Sanders. I would pick Shedeur-Sanders. If I had to give up Micah Parsons and 3 firsts, I would do it. You do not get out of bankruptcy putting $13 a month into your 401k. You get out of it with big swings. You start looking at the draft order. You look at Dallas's schedule. The only team they play the rest of the year that's got nothing to play for is the Giants. They got a shot to get the #1 pick. They got a real shot. Yes, Dak will be upset if you draft Shedeur-Sanders. So what?
With confidence, talent, and star power, Shedeur enters Cleveland. What does he receive too? Minutes wasted, along with a front-row seat to mediocrity. The way the Browns handle quarterbacks is similar to how children handle vegetables. Never actually use it, just poke at it and move it around the plate. Supporters are beginning to realize that Shedeur is being buried, not just ignored.
How badly I wanted you to coach my Dallas Cowboys, because I believe with all my heart and soul you would soon have turned them back into a legitimate contender. How close did that come to happening? How much did you believe that Jerry did have interest in you?
He did, and he still does. Jerry's a dear friend. I love him to life. It was interesting. I didn't really think about it that much, but after we conversated, I said, wow, like this has a possibility. Would I do it? And the only way I would have done it, Skip, to be honest with you, is I knew guaranteed I had an opportunity to coach my sons.
Yeah.
And turning indignation into a full-fledged movement is something NFL supporters excel at. The week after they argue about chicken wings on Twitter, they launch a grassroots effort to release Shedeur. All of a sudden, the crowd screams sound more like coded prayers for someone to help get this guy out of Cleveland before his best years are lost than they do like applause for touchdowns. Let's face it, the Cowboys owner lives on controversy and news coverage like oxygen. You don't know this man at all if you assumed he would just watch Cleveland throw away a quarterback with game day firepower and Hollywood charisma. His mind is yelling one thing when he sees Shedeur and the star factor. It's a cowboy. Scouting reports are obsolete. Ignore the logistics. Given that his name sounds excellent in stadium lighting, this is the same man who would most likely sign a quarterback. And that name, Cowboys-Sanders, seems like it would look great embroidered on a jersey that sells out in a day in Texas. Since nobody likes to acknowledge it aloud, but everyone is aware when someone is being mistreated, other NFL owners are also silently shifting in their chairs. It's similar to witnessing someone slather meat with ketchup at a family cookout. Even though you don't want to be impolite, you're shouting in your head, "This is a crime." In addition to being a poor choice, Shedeur's sitting on squandered minutes in Cleveland is malpractice.
Is going to be the third father to son to get drafted in the first round?
I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. Come on, like to say is Shedeur not going to be a first-round talent and a first-round pick? I think he's going to be top 5. He might be number 1 overall taken player in the 2025 draft. That's a bold statement. Go on clips, go on to mark it up, however you want to say it. D-Jack said it here live on 2510. He might be the first player taken in the 2025 draft. But that's a no-brainer, man. Yeah, he's
So, whoa. See, now I think Shedeur is the best quarterback in college football, hands down.
So that's the number
right?
1 pick, yeah.
But
Travis Hunter.
He should not be the first pick overall.
Who? Shedeur?
Yes.
I mean, do you know who might be?
Don't matter.
Might be.
The man has every tool, vision, arm strength, and the capacity to maintain a cool temperature while the pocket folds up like a cheap tent. They are performing plays that appear to have been written by someone half asleep after binge-watching cookery shows, rather than letting that out. Opportunity is as clear to the Cowboys owner as blood is to a shark. If Cleveland is overlooking Shedeur's skill, why not jump in and sign it before someone else notices? It is comparable to purchasing upscale beachfront real estate for yard sale pricing in the NFL. Rumor has it that he wants to carry it out covertly, as though this were a script from Mission Impossible. We're talking late-night strategy discussions, behind-the-scenes calls, and perhaps a scenario involving sunglasses and a trench coat. Because Cleveland will cling to Shedeur out of pure hate if word spreads too quickly. Nothing says Browns football more than stockpiling talent. Not because they're making good use of him. In reality, they don't maximize.
What do you think of the Cleveland Browns QB situation?
No, it's horrible. It's absolutely terrible situation for a quarterback to be in. Let's get real, people here. All right? This is the thing that nobody wants to talk about. Cowboys-Sanders is in a situation where the NFL and the Cleveland Browns have set him up to sink or swim in year 1. What I really mean by that is they set him up to fail. Cowboys-Sanders is the 4th quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster, but let me talk to you about the other guys that they have on the roster. Joe Flacco, the de facto starter that everyone with a football brain believes will be their starting quarterback, barring injury, is a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP.
Shedeur is most likely sitting back in the meantime, thinking, let me clarify this. The Browns can't even figure out how to provide me regular snaps. And the owner of the Cowboys is essentially prepared to helicopter me out of town. When Michelin chefs are pleading with you to join them at a fast food restaurant, it's like being stuck there. The contrast hurts. He is viewed as a generational talent by one team. What does the other perceive him as? A nice last name for a bench warmer? If it weren't so awful, it would almost be humorous. There are 2 groups of fans. Some believe Cleveland will figure it out, and those who wanted Shatter freed yesterday. Cleveland doesn't work things out. Spoiler alert. The Cowboys, on the other hand, are drama queens. They are America's headline machine, in addition to being the country's team. Including Shedeur would be more about spectacle than depth charts.
How different is a defense in, say, the first or second preseason game, say, to the first or second regular season game? What kind of different looks will they give you as a quarterback?
Great question.
Yeah, so, going into these games, you guys obviously experienced it, and then hear a lot of people talk about how he handles it, how he operates, the pre-snap communication, post-snap execution. Does he look like he's, seeing everything clearly? And that is said because it matters. And that was one of the things that stood out, was just how comfortable he looked in and out of the huddle. There's multiple times where, he's sticking his hand up at the line of scrimmage, talking to his receivers like, hey, you're good. Don't worry about any blitzes or protection.
This goes beyond football. Entertainment is what it is. The man who treats AT&T Stadium like Broadway is the best person to grasp that. He is aware that Shedeur is more than just a quarterback. For weeks, he will be the main plot point of every sports program. The league is a hive right now. Owners are examining their rosters anxiously. Memes are being created by fans at a breakneck pace. Additionally, Cleveland is acting as though they have control of the situation, when in actuality, it is carrying a ticking time bomb. There is no turning back once Shedeur understands that the Cowboys, or anyone else with vision, is really about providing him with the stage he deserves. You can't keep driving the minivan while parking a Ferrari in a garage. This story just continues becoming more complex with each turn. The NFL thrives on drama, and this one may be the most intriguing one yet to come, because despite all the scheming and concealment, there is one unavoidable reality. Cleveland is not giving Shedeur Sanders what he deserves, and time is running out. That guy is Shedeur, the man, the one that your team claims they don't need, but wishes they did.
Nothing in sports has ever angered me more than what the NFL has done to Shedeur Sanders. The Browns showed you their hand by taking Dillon Gabriel 50 slots higher than they wound up taking Shedeur. The head coach, Kevin Stefanski, did not want Shedeur Sanders. The GM, Andrew Berry, clearly did not want Shedeur Sanders, but quarterback injuries conspired against the Browns to start with. They were forced, of course, to give Shedeur a shot in the first preseason game, only because of all that spate of injuries.
When he actually hits the field, the defenders who have spent the entire week preparing for him appear to be confused traffic cones. There is more to the Shedeur craze than meets the eye. It adds fuel to a fire that is already destroying the traditional perception of young quarterbacks. The most outrageous thing is that this is no longer merely a fan's cry. It's being whispered by coaches, owners, and analysts as if they've discovered a top-secret formula. You see, the topic is always the same with the majority of young quarterbacks. Give him some time. He'll get it. He's growing. However, no one wants to wait around. Shedeur, the flair, the poise, the accuracy, he gives it such a natural appearance. You begin to question whether he truly downloaded his quarterbacking abilities from auto-tuning software. The fact that so many initially attempted to ignore him only heightens the humor. They said, "He's just hype. He's only popular because of his name." After a few rounds, the same skeptics are sitting there quietly sipping their sodas tensely and watching him thread his way past defenders as if he were playing darts in a bar. The justifications are no longer valid.
It tells me he's understanding what he's looking at. That matters, a big deal. I think the thing that one of the things that I took away was he was pretty aggressive with the football. That tells me confidence, that again, he's seeing how rotation happens. Now, he saw a lot of, backside safety drop down man coverage. So that you're not going to see, you'll see that in the league, obviously a ton. He didn't see a ton of pressures. He didn't see a ton of blitzes. Some of the stuff that some other quarterbacks saw, like Seattle was throwing Star Wars stuff at Geno Smith. So, he didn't see that.
When he's doing well, you can't claim it's luck. Week after week, it is repeated. Under circumstances where other quarterbacks fear, as if they've misplaced their car keys. The NFL was not created to allow for snooping. Up to you. The moment you display flashing excellence, everyone is looking out for you. Defenses adapt. Commenters select faults. Fans scrutinize things too much. However, Shedeur continues to moving as if that noise didn't exist. That's the distinction between just the next big thing and another QB something. He doesn't merely make it through the pressure, he flourishes in it. As soon as the majority of quarterbacks' pockets collapse, begin with praying, Shedeur begins figuring. As the blitz arrives, he doesn't wince. He adapts, as though he's real-time rewiring of the entire play. That's hardly the stuff of rookies. That's the stuff legends are created of. You can hear it at the front desk chit-chat in the NFL, as proprietors who previously laughed and now begin to wonder whether perhaps they need to have made plans for the future, surrounding this child rather than holding on to their overpriced stand-ins.
Shedeur went through and what you went through. Watching tonight, does it make it almost more meaningful than just a football game?
I'm not gonna say meaningful. We've already spoken like 3 times a day. We just got off the phone joking and clowning like crazy. But he's so prepared right now. A lot of people are approaching it like a preseason game. He's approaching like a game. And that's how he's always approached everything, to prepare and to approach it like this is it. I just can't wait to see him get down tonight. But it's gonna be a little weird. It's gonna be a little strange. It's gonna be a problem after tonight, though, I promise you.
Players like Shedeur force fans to rethink what their franchise might be. Not only is he a quarterback, he is a cultural change agent. Observe the reactions of the players around him. Playing with Shedeur makes teammates appear more focused, hungry, and sharper because they feel like they are a part of something important. He does more than merely improve his own performance. Like gravity in reverse, he pulls everyone else up with him. And you can't purchase that kind of intangible with contracts or promotional movies. The increasing volume of murmurs is hardly surprising. Fans are no longer the only ones making noise on social media. Owners are paying attention, analysts are revising their opinions, and even seasoned quarterbacks are snooping around because they know this youngster will be their issue sooner rather than later. Shedeur may simply be moving more quickly than the NFL. As if Shedeur hadn't arrived with all the necessary equipment, leadership, poise, accuracy, and that natural ability to make the game seem effortless. The fact that he is good is not surprising. It's because they believed he wouldn't be. It's their fault, not his. If nothing else, he's demonstrating how incompetent the so-called experts are at identifying generational brilliance.
To the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be a middle-of-the-road team this year. I think it's going to be done on purpose. They're going to fire their coach. They're going to let Dak go. They're going to then draft Shedeur Sanders.
Again, Dallas seems to be a place that can check all the boxes for Shedeur realistically instead of Cleveland. So we're going to see. So I think the Dallas Cowboys could be his next.
The change is taking place in real time. What began as college supporters' enthusiasm has developed into a full-fledged NFL awakening. More people board the train every week. So soon, it won't only be admirers yelling, "Shedeur is that guy." Since excellence can only be disregarded for so long before it becomes impossible to ignore, the league as a whole will initially acknowledge it reluctantly before unavoidably accepting it fully. The worst part is still to come. Shedeur has yet to reach his ceiling. That's the reason the excitement is so unique. Flashes are common among rookie quarterbacks. You hope that they can connect the dots after seeing a throw here and a drive there. The flashes aren't flashes with Shedeur. At that point, you start referring to him as the thing rather than the next thing. The NFL may continue to act as though this is just another phase of the quarterback carousel. Shedeur Sanders isn't only in the conversation, though. He is revising it. The message is extremely apparent whether it is heard on the Cleveland sidelines, in Cowboys rumors, or in murmurs in every organization boardroom. That person is Shedeur. Not in the far future, nor tomorrow. At this moment. And whether owners, coaches, or supporters acknowledge it or not, the reality is already known and only becoming more.